I cooked such a good dinner that my family begged me for the recipe, but when I wrote that I used beef tongue and cheeks, one of them threw up and had a breakdown because I fed her dog food. I was at the butcher looking for some cheap meat to use for tacos at my housewarming party. My wife got me an awesome new smoker and I wanted to try it out. The butcher mentioned that he had some beef tongue and beef cheeks. I went weak in the knees. I love those cuts of beef. So much flavor. And proper barbacoa is made from that. So I picked it up. I prepared it the way I was taught by my grandfather. It was awesome. Smoking it makes it so tender. I made tortillas from scratch as well. We had our party and everyone enjoyed the food. Until my wife's brother's girlfriend asked for the recipe. I declined because it was my family recipe and I don't like to give away recipes. I have in the past and I end up getting crapped on because it doesn't taste as good and I must have sabotaged them on purpose. No, Madison, I didn't sabotage you. You used cinnamon powder in your chili instead of a couple of cinnamon sticks like I said. My wife told me to please play nice and share. So I wrote out the recipe for the girl. She immediately starts dry heaving like she is going to hurl. My brother-in-law comes over to see what's going on. She screams that I serve dog food for supper. So everyone starts asking what she means and she starts waving the recipe around and saying that beef cheeks and tongues are what she buys for dog snacks. No one else complains. They all say she is being ridiculous and that the meal was great. She is left there crying and being comforted by my brother-in-law. Now she is flaming me on Facebook, calling me names and saying that just because I ate peasant food growing up is no reason to feed it to others. I feel kind of guilty because I thought I was doing a nice thing making authentic food. But I guess I might be a jerk for serving cuts of meat that Americans don't think is fit for human consumption. Update. I posted a while ago about serving dog food to the woman my brother-in-law eventually married. Wendy hasn't changed much since then. She did shut up after she went to a few different taco places and they all told her what proper barbacoa is. So anyway, now whenever we have people over I always prepare a meal specially for her. Usually just plain unseasoned meat, other than salt and pepper, I'm not a monster, plain green salad with ranch on the side, and a plain starch like a baked potato or white rice. I do not limit her to this food. I just always have it available in case she finds something offensive about the other food I make. We recently hosted a dinner party that included my wife's brother and his wife. We also had some new friends over. Thea, the wife, asked if my sister-in-law had allergies since she was eating plain roast chicken breast with the aforementioned sides. She was worried about cross-contamination since there was a lot of other food there, I guess. Thea is a teacher and is hyper-vigilant about food allergies. This led to Wendy explaining that I use cuts of meat that she did not grow up eating and that I refuse to tell her what is in the food I make. This is a fact. I learned my lesson. I make food my friends and family enjoy. If I use an ingredient that may be against a dietary restriction, I make it clear. For example, if I serve pork, I let everyone know. I also will answer any questions about allergens. My sister-in-law says that I insist on feeding her the most bland food possible. I pointed at the salsa verde on her food and asked her if it needed more serranos. The whole story came out and Wendy was embarrassed again. I don't think it was my fault. I have been passive-aggressively making sure she cannot complain about my cooking. My wife says that maybe it's time to stop making a separate meal for Wendy. I said she is lucky I don't serve her Dino nuggets and Lunchables.